In this class we're going to look at motivation and reward. In fact, what we're going to do more specifically is to focus in on the work of Maslow and McClelland and introduce both of those writers in the context of motivation. So let's start. Organizations can only achieve their goals, their objectives and their productivity and excellent customer service and so on, if employees are highly motivated. So it's important that organizations have workers, have managers and workers and operators that are highly motivated, because this will show through in the quality of the product. It'll show through in the way the company deals with its customers, its aftercare service. It's the whole package that's important. It's not just the product. It's the aftercare service, it's the contact with the customers, it's the contact with the suppliers. And in order to have good quality right throughout the organization and a good spirit within the organization, the employees should be well motivated. The level of employee motivation is dependent on the following. It depends on the job design, the rewards, the management styles, organization culture and structure. The jobs should be designed in a way that give some sort of psychological payback to the worker. They feel that it's not a boring job, it's not repetitive day in, day out. There's job enrichment, there's job enlargement, and they feel like going to work is not especially onerous. And there are good rewards. There's clear rewards to the workers. They know exactly how they're going to be paid. If bonuses are being paid, they know how it's going to be calculated. There's clarity. And that also reinforces their views of the organization and of the management and promotes a very positive attitude. Management styles. The management should be supportive. It should be understanding, and it should engage with the work and show the lead by example. Show the workers and the operators that they themselves care, the management care, and they care about everything, all the little details. And of course the structure of the organization, how it's configured. If it's extremely hierarchical, or if the top management are known to the people on the shop floor and so on. So there are all sorts of issues associated with motivation. Motivation is an internal decision-making process which influences an individual to behave in a certain way. Motivation is internal. It's within our minds, whether we're motivated or we're not, whether we want to do something or not do it. And for management, it's important that the workers want. They want to do it. They want to carry out particular tasks. And they want to carry out the tasks well. They want to carry them out with good quality and efficiently. And it's important that the management tries to create that and create the environment within which that can develop. The determinants of motivation is complex. Well, motivation is a complex subject because it depends on various factors. As I said earlier, the organizational culture, the management style, the job design and so on. So it's very difficult to work out exactly what creates a good motivational environment. We know it's created from several factors, but it's very difficult to isolate out the key factors. And people will also be different. People will bring in particular traits and particular predispositions, and they may be difficult to motivate in particular ways. So there is an issue for management to try and experiment and find out, and don't alienate the workers, but try to grab their interest and get them interested in the work and producing good quality and efficient work. The management perspective, well, managers need to assess the factors that motivate employees. It could be money, it could be status, power, self-fulfillment. They can be motivated in various ways. Some people go to work for money and see the salary as the end. That's why they're there. Some people may go because they like working. They like the status of being a worker. They like to get out of the house, and they have a psychological payback for engaging in the work process. Others might want to go to work because they want to have promotion and have power and status related to power. And others just want to go to work because it fulfills them. They feel more complete. They have a purpose. A single motivating factor may not apply to all employees. The reason for this is simply individuals are different. They have different goals, desires and ambitions. So it's difficult for management to lay down blanket policies about motivation, because the blanket policies may not apply to everyone. Some people are motivated in particular ways, other people in different ways. So it's difficult to set down one overarching approach to motivation and expect that to motivate everyone. It won't, because people are different. People have different backgrounds, different ambitions, they think differently. That's the way the world is. Employees need job satisfaction in order to be motivated. That we do know. They need to like their job and they will be motivated. If they dislike their job, they will not be motivated. If a person dislikes what he or she is doing and they receive a bonus, they will still dislike what they're doing. It's as if the bonus, the extra money, is almost irrelevant. It's welcomed on a financial front, but it doesn't change the fact that they don't like what they're doing. They still think the job is not nice. So they must like the job to be motivated. Now there are various theories that look at what we've just been talking about, and in the rest of this video we're just going to look at two of these, by Maslow and by McClelland, and these are dealt with in separate videos elsewhere in the course, and it's wise for you to look at those extra videos as well. But we just want to run over these two here and introduce them. So we start with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow is a very famous American psychologist who published papers in many areas in psychology, but this is one of his more popular publications and more popular insights, because it relates to business, and the business community have latched on to it over the years, and it's often quoted in publications and books and lectures and so on. So the hierarchy of needs develops 5 basic needs. There's a psychological need, there's a safety need, a social need, a self-esteem need, and what Maslow called self-actualization. So we can see here 5 basic needs. We have a psychological need. That needs to be sorted out. That needs to be in place. We have a safety need. We want to feel safe and secure. We have a social need. We want to mix with others and have a particular status, perhaps, within that community. We have self-esteem needs. We need to feel good about ourselves and what we're doing. And self-actualization is when you feel very content and happy about what you've achieved and what you're doing. You feel confident. It's a deep inside feeling of contentment. Maslow suggested that motivation is triggered by the need to satisfy the 5 basic needs, starting with the lower order needs and leading to the higher order needs. So According to Maslow, the 5 basic needs should be solved, should be addressed, and it should start with the bottom need. And he represented this as a type of pyramid or a triangle. At the very bottom, we have the psychological needs. These must be in place. People must feel happy and content about doing the particular job. They must not be aggressive towards their particular tasks. They must not feel alienated from what they're doing. They must feel somewhat content with what they're up to and what they're doing. Their safety needs, slightly higher up. They must feel safe and secure in what they're doing and feel confident about their position in doing whatever it is they're doing. They're not going to feel threatened by loss of work or physically threatened, perhaps. Just they feel danger at work. They just need to feel secure. And then we have social needs. The need to mix with others, to have status amongst others, to be seen as a worker, to have interests which are sort of outside of the home, outside of the community. These are work interests, and there's a bond between the workers. And there's esteem needs, which means that the workers feel happy to be at work. They feel happy about themselves. They feel content. They like their status. They like the idea that they can get promotion and work their way up in the organisation, and they're valued by the organisation. And the final one, as I said earlier, is the self-actualization, where there's this inner feeling of contentment. They have achieved what they set out to achieve. They feel happy about what they have done. So we have the 5 needs of Maslow. Now let's run through those 5 points again briefly, just to reinforce what we've been saying. So the psychological needs. Wages must satisfy the employee's basic need to survive. The employees must, their needs must, they must be solved. And the employees must also have sufficient rest time, and they must feel content at work. They're getting enough to survive. They're getting enough to buy food and clothing and provide shelter, and they're not overworked. They're not continuously worked extremely long hours, a very arduous type of employment. They're psychologically quite at ease about what they're doing. I think that's the point. The safety needs, well, employees are working in safe environments, job security, and may also have additional benefits. So the workers like to move up to that level and feel that they're working in a safe environment. Their job security is in place. They're not going to lose their jobs, so they're going to continue to have some sort of wage or salary and be able to pay their own personal bills. It needs to be a friendly environment, and it needs to have a sense of belonging. They must feel some sort of relationship to their colleagues at work, a feeling of affinity, of kinship or something of this nature, where they go to work and they see other people doing tasks and they realize they're all in it together. There's a social need, and they feel part of this community, this work community. The esteem needs, well, makes employees feel valued by recognizing achievements. So esteem is sometimes when they do a particularly good job and perhaps the management congratulate them. So they feel happy, they feel recognized, and it's a feeling inside. They just feel now content and more secure and more at ease about their position, and they've been recognized. Self-actualization, one which many people find difficult to think about? Well, it provides employees the opportunity to reach their full potential. Keep employees motivated by providing them with appropriate challenges to accompany their needs. So self-actualization is when they have achieved all the current set of tasks, they've achieved them well, they've done a good job, they've been congratulated, they've been admired by their colleagues as doing particularly good work. They feel content, they feel happy, they feel like they have worked hard and they've achieved something. So self-actualization means they no longer have anything to prove to themselves. What they really need now is perhaps new challenges. Now let's look at McClelland's motivation theory. Well, according to McClelland, there are three motivators that determine employee motivation and success. So according to McClelland, there are three motivators, different from Maslow, as we've just seen. The three motivators for McClelland are the need for achievement, the need for affiliation, and the need for power. So we have three needs: achievement, affiliation, and power. Now, McClelland suggests that the needs are developed through an individual's age, culture, background, education, life experience. So exactly what needs we've got as individuals is a function of our culture, our age, our background, our education, and so on. And of course that will vary from person to person because we are different. We are at different ages, we have different cultures, we have different backgrounds, different educations, and so on. So we have different backgrounds. And this means that our needs are going to be different. The needs are learned through social interaction rather than inherited. So we're not here assuming that we receive our needs from our parents or our grandparents. They don't come down in that direction. They're learned. They're learned through social interaction. These are our needs: the need for achievement, affiliation, the need for power. This is McClelland's view. Of course, it's very difficult to say whether needs are entirely social or whether they are inherited. There's a big debate in psychology known as the nature-nurture debate. The nurture debate means we learn from our colleagues, we learn from our experiences, and we pick this up as we move through life. The nature part of it, that's the nurture part. The nature part is what we inherit, because we do inherit particular attributes from our parents and they come down genetically. So there is a big debate. So it's very difficult to say that the three needs that McClelland identifies are entirely social and entirely learnt. It could be, for example, the need for power is perhaps an inherited trait or partially inherited. But that's a very big debate, and perhaps for another time. All individuals acquire the three needs. However, only one is dominant. So although we have three needs, people will project one of the needs. One of the needs will become more important, and we'll identify that need with that person. Managers are able to effectively motivate their employees if they can identify which need is most dominant in an individual. So if they can work out which need is dominant, then they will know what type of person that is. Is the person looking for power, looking to be more in charge of their own work, in charge of their own position? Are they looking for power, or are they looking for achievement? They want to achieve something. Or do they want to affiliate? Do they just want to be wanted? They want to be a part of the organization, to be seen as a part of the organization. They want to be liked. Managers can develop tasks which enhance an employee's motivation to succeed. If they can do that, if they can develop tasks, that's the ideal way to motivate the workers. But of course, it's difficult to know which need predominates in every individual worker. And also sometimes workers will project one need and perhaps at a later stage project a different need. So it's very difficult to work out precisely. And also it's very difficult to accommodate the various needs because not everyone can have power. Not everyone can be liked because sometimes people's personalities simply grate. Not everyone can achieve. Some people set goals and objectives for themselves that are not realistic and they can't achieve them. Or some people don't have the capacity to achieve. So there are problems for the management in trying to motivate based on the theory. But nonetheless, if management can identify it in some workers, they're able to perhaps facilitate those needs in some workers, and that means the workers will be more motivated. Now the need for achievement. Well, individuals who acquire this need like to take on calculated risks in order to excel and achieve their goals. Workers sometimes just like to set themselves tasks and try to achieve the task. And when they do achieve it, they feel good. There's a psychological payback. There's a payment which is deep inside them. It's a psychological payment. They feel they've set themselves a task and they've achieved the task. So they feel good. The tasks are challenging. If they're easy tasks, they don't feel as good as difficult tasks. If someone sets themselves a difficult task and achieves it, they will feel very good. But the tasks must be realistic. They can't just set tasks that are not realistic because they're not going to achieve it and they're just going to feel bad all the time. They've set themselves tasks or objectives that simply can't be achieved. That would be silly. Generally speaking, these people like to work alone, and if not, they like to work in teams of people who are similar to themselves. They like to work in teams of people who are achievers. They like people to set themselves tasks and try to achieve the task, and it's working with similar-minded people. Achievers need regular feedback. This is the only means of which they can assess their progress, through which they can assess their progress. So they like regular feedback. They like to know what others think about how far they've got and what their objective is. It's realistic. Are they going about it the right way? What have they achieved so far? How far are they off fully achieving the task? So they like feedback. They like comment. Money is a type of motivator. It allows achievers to analyze their success. Pay determines the level of achievement to some extent. When they set themselves tasks and they achieve the tasks, if the management recognize what they've achieved, they may give them a bonus. It's not so much the money, it's the fact that they've received the bonus. It's recognition. It's what they've achieved. They've been recognized for what they've achieved. The bonus is just evidence that they were recognized for having achieved something particularly difficult. They don't need to be constantly praised in order to keep them motivated. They like comments and feedback, but they don't have to be praised. They are driven by their own sense of achievement. They're looking for what they can achieve, and that sense is within their heads. The need for achievement is within their own minds. It's a psychological thing that they've got. So they don't need external praise and external pushing all the time. They're working on it themselves. Now, the need for affiliation. This type of need, individuals are more concerned about being liked and accepted. They want to be a part of the organization. They want to have friends within the organization, and it's a social institution for them as well as a workplace. They go there to meet their friends, their work friends. And they form informal relationships within the organization. To talk to each other and to share not just work problems and issues, but to talk about family and backgrounds and social issues and sport, and so they're forming friendships within the organization, and they have a need for this. They like to work in a team and prefer a more cooperative environment. By and large, they're not happy working alone. They feel isolated. So they prefer to work as a member of a team where there's cooperation within the team and a number of people are pulling towards the same objective. They're good at customer service and also working as team players. They like talking to people and understanding people. Now, the need for power. Well, this type of need is associated with individuals who like to take control and lead others. They can be argumentative and also be difficult for some people to deal with. They're ambitious. They're very ambitious, and they want to take control of the situation, and they want others to follow them. And they have a need for this. They want it to happen. They're suited for leadership roles as they like dominating and they are competitive. However, you need to be careful about suggesting they're suitable completely for leadership, because sometimes leadership is best if it leads from the front, if it's understanding, if it's involved with the workers and it understands the issues, and it takes feedback and comments, and it involves the workers in decision making. Perhaps that sort of type of leadership is more effective. When a very powerful leader emerges within an organization, it can be difficult for many people to work for that individual because they see the individual as very strong and very demanding. In order for managers to keep motivated individuals, they must give appropriate tasks suited for each individual and their needs. If individuals are going to be motivated, they should be working on what they can do best and what they like to do, if that is possible. So management should try to match interests against jobs and try to allocate workers according to their interests, if it's possible. High achievers need challenging but realistic tasks. They're high achievers. They want to do things. They want to prove themselves. So they need challenging tasks, but realistic ones that can be achieved. And they need constructive feedback. And they need opportunities to work alone or with other achievers. These are highly motivated people. They want to achieve. They want realistic tasks, but they need challenging tasks, not easy tasks. With high affiliation, they like working in groups. They like informal environments and personal feedback, and also manageable tasks. They like to affiliate. They like to have friends. They like to relate to the organization. They like to relate to their colleagues. They like to work in groups. They're team players. They like informal environments. High power, well, high power leadership roles, these are, the high power people are ones who are suitable for leadership roles. They like direct feedback. They're very goal orientated. They like to achieve. They like to be in control. Whether they're suited as leaders, as I said earlier, could be debatable. Sometimes good leadership is more cooperative, it's more understanding, it's gentler. So it depends. So what we've done in this video is look at backdrop to motivation, and then we've gone on to look at two writers in the area. Both of these will be developed in separate videos in their own rights, and these videos are available elsewhere on the course. It's worthwhile finding those videos and viewing them as well. But that's all I'm going to do in this session, so I'm going to leave it at that and say thank you for watching.